Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me for a Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. You know what I love to do on my show. I want to enlighten, inspire, and empower you to be your best self. Now, Scripture reminds us that a tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches. However, a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And today we want to get you fired up about venue. Yep, we're talking location today, and I'm so excited to bring this to you. Our guest today is Kate Jensen, and she is with the company called NOAHS Event Venue. You can find them online at NOAHsEventvenue.com, and you can use /church. So NOAHS Event Venue offers the ideal space for worship service, new churches, and churches that are planting or expanding. And I think that that is really, really awesome. So let me tell you a little bit more about Kate. Kate Jensen is the VP of Sales. She has spent the last decade selling event space for NOAHS Event Venue, overseeing more than 100 sales, personnel, and event coordinators across the country in 43 locations. She has learned and seen firsthand how to tour, engage, and sell everyone from brides to their mothers to Fortune 500 clients, and she has enjoyed every minute of it. Everything from techniques to tips and technology, she has personally learned and disseminated it throughout the enterprise. And she looks forward to working more and more with church groups like you guys, our listeners, and to make sure that your home can be a NOAH event venue for your worship or venue needs. Of course, Kate Jensen is available on LinkedIn as well if you want to know a little bit more about her. About NOAHS Event Venue, just in case you're asking, from wedding to church group, NOAHS is proud to have hosted more than 10,000 events. NOAHS proudly opens its doors to religious organizations of all types. Feel comfortable and worship as you want. With all amenities, including NOAHS, is the ideal location for any size congregation. NOAHS has a large auditorium and smaller breakout rooms for Bible study, nursery, and Sunday school. And like I said, you can always visit them online at NOAHsEventvenue.com/church. So without any further ado, let's get Kate in on the conversation. Good morning, Kate. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me today on Daily Spark.
I'm good. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad you asked us to, meet with you and answer some of your questions. We're very excited about this.
Thank you. Now, I know that many times church leaders, pastors, ministers, priests, whatever capacity of clergy, no matter what you call the name, clergy is always looking for places to host events. And of course, you want to utilize a service that is going to respect your religious needs, of course. And being across the country, that's like even more awesome because you can plan something in another location and still understand the quality that you're going to get. So my question for you is why would a church want to use NOAH's worship service if they already have a location or if they're unsure about what the next step is?
Yeah, that is a great question. NOAH's event venue has a lot of usage. We have churches that use us for their Wednesday Bible study. So if they already have an actual church building that they need to meet off-site for their Wednesday Bible study, then we have awesome room options for that. There are also a lot of church functions, maybe a social that they're wanting to throw an event for, or a fundraiser event. We've had churches rent our venue for fundraiser carnival type events. So if you already have an established venue or church building, then we're a great option for some of those social weekend events. We're also a great option for a satellite location. So you may have a location in, one part of Atlanta and want to go to, extend your community to another part. And we may have a NOAHS there, and that would allow you to, to do that. So we have, locations all over the country, as you mentioned, for a lot of different reasons. Now, there are a lot of newer churches that are establishing that simply don't have the budget because they are a new church to build a $4 or $5 million, venue. And so we're able to service those that don't have their building of their own. And we have had the great pleasure of hosting many churches in that situation. We had a church group in our Chandler, Arizona location that used us for about 5 or 6 years while they were trying to find a solution, for themselves. And we were just, like I said, honored to host their church services until they were able to make that extension to having their own venue. And it was awesome to be a part of that. Same with Richardson, Texas. Same thing. We have a wonderful church group there. And they're currently building their own location, but they've been with us for 3 years. So it's just been this great relationship that we have. A lot of those churches say things like NOAHS creates a safe environment for them to come and worship. It's nice because they have the whole venue to themselves, so they can feel like a standalone church, venue. Whereas some of their other solutions are just sections or parts of certain buildings versus their own, standalone venue. We make it really personal. We get to know the pastor that, speaks there every Sunday. They typically get to know our local staff really well, and we create, like I said, a really good partnership with that. We really care about the cleanliness and the quality of our venues. So our churchcomers can expect to show up to a clean, organized venue that they can just feel safe and comfortable in. Some of the other perks that save the church's time is we have a built-in sound system with microphones that they can use, screens, projectors. So all of that audio-visual is already on site, which helps them not have to bring all of that in every Sunday. We also have this beautiful stage that's all wood that just comes up from our floor. So they have that built-in stage to be elevated when they're speaking, so all of the congregation can hear them. And we have these beautiful cherry wood podiums that just kind of tie it all together for them. So it's, like I said, a safe, beautiful, clean environment that's just, standalone as well.
And I love how, even as you describe it, you can tell that the care has really is really important to you. And you mentioned that it's not just here's a location, here's a spot, that it really, you've thought about it making it feel like your church home, even if it's not your building, it can still feel like your church home. And I love when you said that it could be your satellite location. And what popped in my head was, oh my goodness, like for campus ministry, for someone who's trying to expand and maybe perhaps move closer to a university. Like that is really awesome. I love that answer. Now, I want to ask you, in general, how many locations, I know that you are nationwide, but about how many locations do you have around the country?
So we have 47 locations. That's including some that are under construction right now as well. So by the end of 2019, we'll have 47 open and then more under construction. So we continue to grow and build new locations every year. And on our website, noahseventvenue.com, we have just a section that says locations, and it's organized by state, so you can easily, figure out if there's a NOAHS location near you as well.
That is just, I love that the growth is there, and that you're meeting a particular need. Having been an associate pastor at a smaller church, that was one of the concerns that we had when we outgrew a smaller space. It was wonderful to need, a medium-sized space, but like you said, sometimes the $1 million just isn't quite there to get that large church, and you need someplace that's in the middle, and that would have been a wonderful, wonderful idea. Now, I know that you have locations in Kentucky as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So our Louisville location is in such a great area. It's near the Papa John's corporate headquarters. So everyone's usually in Louisville. Everyone kind of knows where that's located. It's Plant 5 Drive, and we're surrounded by these gorgeous trees all the way around the venue. So if anyone wants to take, Sunday pictures after services, then, it's a great spot to do some of those family things. And again, it's just that private, individual building, standalone building, that there's plenty of parking for everyone to come in and have that great environment. And it's nice that we're in a corporate complex. So NOAHS typically tries to be in corporate complexes because on the weekend they're really quiet. So there's not a lot of traffic that they have to worry about. There's not a lot of noise. It's just a really quiet, tranquil atmosphere for their worship.
That is so awesome. I love that. It sounds like you guys have really thought about it, that it wasn't just something real quick, kind of thrown together, but you thought about the aesthetics, you thought about the atmosphere. You really, the planning was just appropriate for the message that you were trying to send. And it sounds like people will definitely be able to tell that when they show up, and when they not only come to visit your location, but especially when they come to worship. Well, Kate, it's almost time for us to go to break, and I want to make sure that everyone is able to contact you and find out more about the location that's closest to them. Could you tell us what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if they're looking to do any type of church event and rent us weekly, they can reach out to Mark Bowser. He is our national sales coordinator for all of our church groups. And that's the other nice thing about our organization, is we have one dedicated person to watch and make sure that all the churches are taken care of. And his direct phone number is 843-455-6845. They can also visit our website and go to noahseventvenue.com/churches, or they could go to just our regular NOAHS event venue site and go to the Louisville location, where they'll find the address, the phone number, and the email for the local team there as well.
Alrighty, well, listeners, now you know where you can visit. But we need to take a very short break. Don't worry, we'll get back and continue this conversation with Kate Jensen of NOAHS Event Venue. We'll be back right after this.
Smell Good Spa, for the women who are making a conscientious change in their personal care products. Specializing in signature fragrance oils, hand-dipped incense, and wholesome bath and body and personal care products. Smell Good Spa. Use code HELLO25 for 25% off your order. Live good, feel good, smell good wholesomely. SmellGoodSpa.com.
Have you ever been stuck on the side of the road for hours waiting for a tow truck to get to you? Have you ever had to get towed to a local mechanic you don't know or trust? Motor Club of America is a different kind of roadside assistance that offers towing up to 100 miles to the shop of your choice. And they get you towed within 40 minutes of when you call. They also have emergency room, in-hospital coverage, and much more at very affordable rates. To find out more, go to motorclubofamerica.com/Elijah1. That's motorclubofamerica.com/ELIJA1 right now and experience a better way to do roadside assistance.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for a Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. My guest today is Kate Jensen, and she is with a company called NOAHS Event Venue. They are in the Louisville, Kentucky area, but guess what? They're also available near you because they offer you that venue, that space. If you are a growing church, if you are planting or expanding, or you're simply a brand new ministry starting off and you're looking for some place to hold your worship services, or perhaps that special function that your church wants to have, then NOAHS Event Venue is a possibility for you. So, Kate, I know that someone who who's saying, I'm interested. This sounds like someplace that I may want to give a call to. Can you tell me a little bit more? So I'm going to try to ask those questions that I think people want to know a little bit more about. So with that said, what comes with the rental?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love being able to tell people everything that's included in our venue. We want the process to be easy, fun, and enjoyable. So we include a lot of the essentials. When you rent our venue for church services or anything, we do all the initial setup for you of our included items. So, for example, someone that's renting our building every Sunday, we would sit down with them to discuss how they need it set up, and then upon arrival, it'd be ready to go. So it may have, theater-style chairs all set up for them. They may want that stage up that's included, podium, the audiovisual systems all included and set up and ready to go. And then we take care of, making sure the venue's clean and ready to go for them. We have several rooms in our locations. That's the other nice thing about it, is that there's space to do Sunday school classes. So you may do, the main room for the first hour of your meeting or for all the adults. And then there's a couple smaller rooms that they could have youth services in. And included in a whole venue rental would be all of those rooms and access to the tables and the chairs and all the audiovisual that those rooms, have for you. So really, as far as weekly church services, the only thing you have to bring is if you want any additional band, like if you're doing a live band, right. Or just bringing yourself ready to, receive what's going to be taught you that day.
That's awesome. So the only people that you need to bring are just the bodies that you wish to participate in the service. So you have the AV equipment there if you are the type of church that loves to have like the overhead or for praise and worship time so that you can show the words or announcements or whatever it is. So that's included. And you're saying that you have the smaller rooms that you can do Sunday school and do children's church and all of that. That's awesome. Okay.
The other thing I forgot to mention is we do have an on-site prep area with like a large sink and an ice machine. So if you're preparing, if you're doing a sacrament, you have an area to prepare that in as well. So that's included in the venue.
Now and I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I'm sure someone was probably kind of like raising their hand, so to speak, to say, well, what about on Communion Sunday? That's beautiful. I'm glad that you have that. Now, I know the next question, and even though people don't like to have to talk about money, I do want to kind of hint on it a little, and that is there a set fee? Is there a fixed fee? Is it a rolling fee? What are the costs associated with having your worship service or your event at a NOAHS venue?
Yeah, the only reason that's a hard question is it just depends on what you are wanting to rent us for. So if you're wanting to do your weekly services with us, we can rent to smaller church groups and we can rent to larger church groups. And the pricing really varies depending on which rooms you needed. For example, if you just needed, one of the smaller conference rooms, or if you need the whole venue. So the pricing, for that type of an example, it could range from $500 to $2,500. Now, most of our church groups are not $2,500. That would be if they wanted us all day. So most of our churches fall between $1,000 and $1,300 a Sunday, which, when you add that up, is more cost effective than if you owned your own venue and your rent was, $15,000, $16,000 a month. So it's definitely more affordable than that initial owning of your own building as well. Now, if you're looking to do a one-time event, like one of those socials that I was talking about, it really just depends on what day of the week and what you're looking to do. All of our regular pricing is found on our website, noahseventvenue.com, and you just select the location that you are interested in, and it has all of our pricing as far as the one-time events. And then for your specific scenario, like if you're a small church or a larger church, you can contact Mark Bowser and he'll work out an appropriate price depending on what you're looking to do.
Now, I do have a question as far as, because I know that we're talking about churches, and I'm going to say that they're already established in that it is, your name, church, or ministries. What if you are just a individual, just a private citizen, and you have outgrown your home for Bible study? Can just Jane or John come and rent a venue as well, or is this just for businesses?
Anybody can rent our venue. It does not have to be an established church or an established business. We do all of life's events. So our tagline that we say everywhere is NOAHS event venue for life's events. So it can be anything that you need the venue for. Come to us and we'll show you all of the different room sizes we have. We'll give you a fair price for everything that's included, and we'll get you taken care of.
Awesome. Now, I think you touched on this a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure, perhaps I missed it, and that is this only available on Sundays, or are you available any day of the week?
We are open any day of the week, Sunday through Saturday. So we host events all the time, all day long, 7 a.m. to midnight, anytime. So definitely, contact us and let us know what you're thinking, and we'll look at our schedule and, work with you on that.
And I love that you said that it's from 7 a.m. until midnight. Now, depending on where you live in the world, and I know I'm originally from Virginia, and in the southern states, usually like on New Year's Eve, there's an event at church so that you can bring in the new year kind of with a religious overtone or with a spiritual overtone. And that might be really exciting for that smaller location that's saying, hey, we want to do something, but we don't want to do it at a hotel because the hotel has the party goers. And that's what we're trying not to do. We want to have our own venue. So thanks for mentioning those hours. I'm sure that kind of perked up someone else's ears as well. Now, when you talk about your venue, one thing that someone may be concerned about is parking. Is there adequate parking if we're trying to have a full church service or a sold-out event? Is that something that people need to worry about?
We have our own on-site parking, so we have plenty of parking to host a church up to 250 guests in attendance. So we have plenty of parking. And as mentioned earlier, our locations are in corporate complexes where on the weekend no one is there because people typically aren't working in the office on Sunday. So they'll find plenty of places to park and get to our venue for their worship.
Yes, and I think that will definitely, for someone, then that's a concern. You know, they don't want to have that street parking. They want to have either a parking facility or they want to have a parking lot for just to keep their members kind of all together and not have to worry about parking on the street or having to park far away. Now, I know that you said that the building is yours for the amount of time that you want, and that we don't have to really worry about other people being in the building. So then I'm assuming that means that the space is a private space for the amount of time that you're reserving it for, and there's no overlap. We don't have to worry about we need to get out of here in 5 minutes, hurry, 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 because someone else is about to bring chairs so that they can have worship service as well.
Correct. It does depend on if they're renting the whole venue or just one room. So if they are renting just one room, then we have the opportunity to rent the other room to someone else. So if they're renting the whole venue, then it is their private space all to themselves. If they're renting just one room in the venue, then there may be other events going on. However, we're very cautious of that. We certainly wouldn't want to create that environment that is outside of what we've been talking about, which is quiet and safe and comfortable for them.
And I can understand that, of course. If you're, if it's a youth event and it's going to be loud and noisy, perhaps that side room isn't appropriate for someone who's looking to do the sanctuary or use the larger space for the sanctuary time, just because there may be an overlap. I love how conscientious and mindful you guys are when you're doing the planning, and you really do think about those things, because that's important. And I know for many other venues, then that is a worry. I have planned a lot of events, and that's something that really kind of pops into my head. Well, what else is going on the day that I'm doing what I'm doing? Do I feel like I'm competing with hall space? Even though I'm just doing a webinar or a seminar, many times I'm dealing with mental health, or I'm dealing with something that's spiritual in nature, and you just want to create the right environment for your attendees. So I can appreciate the extra time and care that you guys have put into that. Well, it is time. Yeah, it's time for us to go to break. So, Kate, if you would please, can you remind everyone, how do they get in contact with you? How do they go about reserving one of your spaces?
Yeah, so we have 3 great options. You can go to NOAHS event venue /church. You can reach out to Mark Bowser directly, and his phone number is 843-455-6845. Or you can go to noahseventvenue.com and select the location you're interested in, and it will have our local phone number and our local address there for them as well.
Alrighty, listeners, we need to take a short break, but when we get back, we will continue this conversation with Kate Jensen. We'll be back right after this.
Hi everyone, Dr. Angela here. Did you know that Daily Spark is now on Facebook? That's right, you can visit with me at facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I want to know more about what you're thinking. I'd love to know, which interview did you find the most entertaining or the most informative? I want to talk to you, and I want you to be able to talk to me. Simply visit facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today we are talking about location from a church perspective. We are talking to Kate Jensen of NOAHS Event Venue, and they offer the ideal space for worship service, new churches, or churches that are looking to plant or even expand. Then I think that that's really, really awesome. So if you're a church leader, a pastor, a priest, reverend, if you are a part of the ministerial team in any capacity, then perhaps NOAHS Event Venue is something that you would want to look into. Well, I asked earlier, can, just Jack or Jane ask? And she said, of course. We want to talk to you as well. So that's really, really awesome, especially if you've been thinking about starting your ministry, or perhaps you're tired of doing your YouTube videos at home and you want to, kind of step it up a bit. This might be something for you. So, Kate, when I usually ask, I would ask who's the ideal reader if you had a book. So I'm going to ask, who's the ideal candidate, or who's the ideal person for renting your space, be it that it's for a worship service or it's for simply an event that you wish to have?
Yeah. So the ideal, congregation is anyone who's kind of outgrown their current space, or anyone who's looking for something a little more personal and private. So if you're currently meeting in just a conference room in a hotel, and it doesn't feel as personal when you walk into the general hotel lobby on a Sunday in your, best dressed church outfit, then we're a great option for you. Or if you're currently meeting in a school or a movie theater or all those other options out there, this just takes it up to the next level for you of when you walk in, you're not going to run into other events going on. You're not going to be competing with people that are staying in that hotel that weekend. It's going to be your own space. So it's perfect for those that, are 80 or more in their congregation looking to have that private worship on a Sunday morning. We do typically rent to church groups that want to host it in the morning and can be out of the venue by noon or 1 o'clock. We are a very popular venue for weddings on Sunday evenings as well, and so it's a great situation when we can get a church group in there, provide an amazing environment for them, and then end around noon or 1 o'clock to be ready for other people that are having amazing life moments as well. So we are also a great fit for those that are just starting out, who know they want to have church services. They've been having it in their home, and they're really starting to bulge a little bit in their own home when it comes to their Bible study, or their backyard just has a lot of people in it every Sunday, and they're looking to have somewhere that they can call their own that isn't necessarily their private home. So we're a great option for that as well. We really like to talk to everybody, just depending on the location. Anybody who's interested in having an event, please call us and talk to us, because we may be a great fit for what you're looking to do. We can do, one-time events. We can do the weekly Sunday worship. We can do those Sunday socials. We can really do it all. It just depends on the day you're looking for and how far in advance you're wanting to do that. So we'll work through our schedule, what the venue already has booked, and what days and price points you're looking at, and see if we can create a great win-win where you get a private, personal venue, and we're able to now get to know more people that come through our venues. I would say that's something that I love about what we do is we're in the business of people. We meet people every day. We get to be a part of really important moments in their life, from, maybe that conversion of this is the first time they're in our building, to pastors marrying people in their congregation. It's just, we're in the business of people, and we really enjoy that. And so the more people we can have in our venue, the better, because that's what we love.
I love how you said that it's also a really great option for having a wedding. And that's amazing. I hadn't thought about that, but it's like that might be the answer. I know that for many of the people in California. Now, I'm a pastoral counselor, which means that I'm also an ordained minister. And helping brides when it comes to, I don't have a church home, one of the questions that they ask many times, be it that I provided officiant service, was, do you have any suggestions for a venue? And you tend to only think about the local hotel, or someplace that's perhaps on the bluff, that's has a spectacular view, but you're also outside. Now, of course, being in Southern California, that tends to be okay, but sometimes you want to be someplace that's covered, because perhaps you have older people that are coming, or you have children that are going to be in attendance, and being outside might not be the best thing. What a wonderful option. That's really amazing. I like that. I like that. Now, for someone who is planning something, and like a wedding that they know is going to happen maybe a year and a half in advance, is that too far out to plan, or do they need to come to you when it's more so maybe 6 months, or that right around the corner? What's best? Is it further out or closer to your target date?
Honestly, dates are all over the place. We have people that come, and it's only a few months before their wedding, and that can be hard. And that can be harder because most likely we're already all booked at that point. But if they're open to a weekday, we can definitely help them, and we always try. Most of our weddings book about a year to 18 months in advance. We already have people booking for 2020. So if you're looking for a weekend, we always tell people, start sooner than later, because our weekends always fill up, really quickly. If you're looking for a weekday, but maybe you have a specific date. I love that people come in and they go, I want to get married on this date because this is when my parents got married, or this is the anniversary of so-and-so. And it may fall on a weekday, but you should still plan for it ahead of time, because we have dates that seem random that all of a sudden get booked underneath people. And so, as far as dates, if you have an idea for an event and you know what you want to do, give us a call right away, because we can get you in for a tour. We can show you everything we offer. As you mentioned, weddings in Southern California, of course you want to be, probably near the beach and that environment, but everywhere else in the country doesn't have that option. And so we take a lot of time into the design of our venues with crown molding and hardwood floors, and it's an environment that's gorgeous, that works for all types of an event. We do also have a few NOAHS outdoor locations, though. So if someone is looking for that outdoor experience, on our website they'll see something called NOAHS Outdoor, and it's where we're able to host events on somebody's property for them. So we do have that option too.
Okay, right, and that. I'm sure someone just said, "Oh, awesome! Yes, that's me. Great." Okay. I think about some of the baby blessings that I've done, or some of the weddings, and it wasn't it wasn't a grand event, meaning that they didn't have 100 people, or perhaps they only had 10 or 15 people that were there, but it was so special and beautiful for them that they needed perhaps like one of the smaller rooms, or they needed that outside place where they really just wanted the people that were going to celebrate with them, but they just wanted the space to be theirs for that moment. And I really like that you guys are able to provide that. Now, when we think about kind of going back just a little bit, we were talking about money and cost, if you will, about what the expectation would be. For the hotels, I understand that there is a deposit that needs to be paid, and then there's a later date when your final payment would be due. Is there that same type of expectation when someone comes to talk to you about renting one of your facilities as well? Is there the deposit and then a future date, or is it kind of take care of it right now?
So we do have payment plan options. I love that you asked this question. So for those that are meeting with us on a weekly, basis, we certainly don't require them to pay for the whole year up front. That would be a lot. And so they can pay us monthly for their services, which is awesome. And we can work out, we take all forms of payment except for cash, simply because it's not safe anymore. But all forms of payment, then we can definitely take that. For any other event, we have, like you mentioned, an initial payment and then monthly payments up until the event date. For anybody who's looking kind of short notice, it's usually like within 90 days.
Right.
Then it's at that point it would be payment in full. But for most of our customers, it's not the case, and we work out monthly payments with them for their event.
That is so awesome, and I love that idea, especially for that one event that you may be having, and you know that it's 6 months down the road, and you are like you're a home-based church, or you're just a Bible study, and you want to have that really big event that's coming up. You're able to plan accordingly, and you're able to know that, hey, when we take in this offering or collection is going to go towards that. That is really awesome. I'm glad that you guys thought of everything. Well, Kate, I can't believe that our time is already over, but I have so enjoyed learning more about NOAHS event venue. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us.
Yes, I loved it. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to talking to more people. As I said, we're in that world of just enjoying everyone around us. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet more people.
No problem. And one more time, if you would please, can you remind everyone, how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so they can go to NOAHS event venue /church, or they can go to our regular site, noahseventvenue.com, and find the location that they are interested in, and it will have the local phone number and the local address. Or they can contact Mark Bowser. If you're just the church specifically, that's who you want to contact. If you're looking for other events, it's best to go to our regular website.
Everyone, Kate Jensen from NOAHS Event Venue. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And listeners, thank you as well for tuning in. And as always, may the Lord continue to shine His face upon you. May you receive His grace and His mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, be blessed in the Lord. Bye-bye.